The Mike Show presents Test Drive Interviews, brought to you by Billy Craft Honda in Lynchburg.
Hello.
Hey, Mike, good to see you.
Yeah, it's good to see you. So we're with Paul, and we are driving the 2019 what?
Honda Passport. So this is the newest SUV to the Honda lineup.
Okay.
And the thing that's exciting about this is a lot of people buy our CRVs. Our CRVs is still our top selling SUV that's out.
Yeah.
But then this one added a 3.5 V6 engine to that same type of idea. And it also takes on the features of the Pilot. So it's a kind of a between a Pilot and a CRV. The cool thing about this is that not only do you take on the features of the Pilot, but you also still have all those Honda sensing features that we had talked about: lane keep assist, adaptive cruise control, road departure mitigation. All those are still in part of the plan. The thing that a lot of people liked about the CRV was the size, but the Pilot always, and the Pilot, for instance, had a third row. Well, this doesn't have a third row, so you still take on all that space for storage. The thing I like about this is too, is as you look at this, you've got your storage compartment here, but then if I pull this up, I've got additional space with my spare tire here. So there's plenty of room to where I can't even reach the seats.
Yeah.
For the amount of space that's tied back here. And of course, if you need additional space, you simply just hit the button and the seats fold down. So that's another way to actually lay across there nicely. One of the new accessories that they added with this is actually the tent.
Nice.
So you can take your spouse and go camping, make this your sleeping quarters, and then the tent comes out the back and you have your personal area. So I've sold a couple of those.
That's for real?
Yeah, that's really cool.
Nice.
Yeah, so the Passport is one of those kind of RV, take the kids to soccer practice, but yeah, I got to go stop by Home Depot or Lowe's and get some stuff for the house too. So it's really cool.
Very cool.
Yeah.
It's Mike, and this is Test Drive Interviews. I want to welcome you to the program, Paul, heck of a deal Heckman.
Hey, how are y'all?
Over there.
Good.
And today we are interviewing Allison Stronza.
Hi.
From CASA of Central
Don't look
Virginia.
at the camera.
No, don't look at the camera. Look at the road. And we have Kelly
Hello.
Diaz. Kelly, you are new to CASA of Central Virginia.
I am.
What is your role?
I am the Recruitment and Development Coordinator as of 3 days ago.
Okay. And you have that new recruitment and coordinator developer new car smell.
Yes, I do.
Anyway.
I hope it's good.
It is very good. So what is your role with CASA? What will you be doing?
I will mostly be trying to recruit volunteers.
Okay.
So we need a lot of volunteers to be able to serve all the communities that we serve and to be able to become advocates for the children who are in need.
So Allison, tell us, what is CASA and what do you do?
CASA is court-appointed special advocates, and so our role is to recruit, train, and supervise volunteers who advocate for kids who are primarily in foster care, but all of them have experienced some sort of abuse or neglect, and our role is to advocate for them and to speak up for what's in their best interest.
Tell us, how many kids does CASA serve within a year in our area?
Yeah, so we just ended our fiscal year and on June 30th, and we served on just under 360 kids.
Wow.
And we have about 80 kids right now on our waiting list, so we desperately need more volunteers so we can serve every child that's referred to us.
Okay. Now, Kelly, tell us about some of the efforts to recruit volunteers, and also tell us, what does a CASA volunteer do?
So, as Allison said, a CASA volunteer, CASA stands for Court Appointed Special Advocate. So our volunteers, the first thing that you would need to do is come to an information session, which we will be having one of those coming up on August the 10th. You'll come there, you'll learn a little bit about what it means to become a volunteer, because it is a lot more to it than a lot of other volunteer opportunities, because it's something that's taken so seriously because you're working with children. So that would be the first thing you would do. The next thing you would do would be to get your application in. We do have an upcoming application deadline of August the 26th. And we have then the next thing you would do is come to a training class. It's a 7-week class that you would come to starting September the 26th. It's on Thursday evenings. And that is 7 weeks of that, plus 2 live court observations.
Do you need any special training, or do you need any legal background or law enforcement background?
No, you don't need any of those things. The one requirement that we do have is that you're 21 years old. But other than that, we give you all the training tools that you'll need.
Okay. Can I work a full-time job and still do this?
We do like for you to have the support of your employer if it's going to be something that you do, because it does require about 15 to 20 hours per month.
Okay.
Depending on which case that you're on, and so it makes it easier for everyone if you have the support of your employer.
Allison, tell us, when did CASA start, and how did it all come about?
CASA was an idea of a judge back in 1977. Judge David Sukup was making decisions for children that were coming before him in his courtroom, and he said he looked around the room, and the parents had an attorney, DSS had their own attorney, but there was no one really there in the courtroom whose only job was to speak up for what's in that child's best interest. So he thought of this idea of having volunteers who were supported by staff, trained staff, but who they could only have one case at a time, and they would be focused on that child. So he held a focus group, and he wasn't sure if anybody was going to show up, but he walked in and the room was packed. So he knew he was onto something.
Wow.
So 955 programs later,
wow.
We are one of those programs. Our program started in Central Virginia in 1989, and we have had over 600 volunteers working with us, and we've served more than 4,500 children since that time.
That is fantastic.
And we're the 3rd largest program in the state of Virginia, and we're pretty proud of that.
Now, geographically, where all do you serve?
We serve Lynchburg, Amherst, Appomattox, Bedford, Campbell, and Nelson counties.
Where do folks learn more, and where do they get in contact with you if they'd like to become a volunteer?
Sure, they can go to our website. It's cvcasa.org. They can go on Facebook and learn more about us. But there's links on our website. If you click on volunteer, and that will give you upcoming information sessions, as well as any things you want to learn about what you would need to do to volunteer with us.
You can see I'm traveling at a safe distance behind the car in front of us, and it is asking me for steering as required because I don't have my hands on the wheel at this point. But when I grab it, then that sensor goes away.
Okay. And now you'll be able to let go of the wheel again.
Yes. Yeah, you let go of the wheel again and you can kind of go right through it.
Does it stop you if you're getting ready to have to run into someone in traffic or something?
It does.
Stop and go traffic?
Collision mitigation is one of the systems. So again, if there's an object in front of us, or there's an object that pulls out in front of us, then we're able to, so this pulls in front of us here. So again, I'm going 59, now I'm quickly slowing down to pull up because that car pulled out in front of us. And again, if I didn't see that and we got too close, the passport would have already begun the braking system and slowing it down automatically. It's not a design to have you be distracted because you're like, oh, I'll trust the car. Yeah. But it is an option where sometimes there are distractions that you have to deal with and so forth.
I'll be very curious. I've said this before on different test drive interviews, but I'll be very curious to see what these systems, what these safety features does to the statistics and the incidence of traffic accidents and traffic fatalities in general over the next 10 years. It'll be very, very interesting to see how that's affected and how much lower traffic and collision statistics and deaths and injuries decrease.
Right.
I'd be very curious. And this is, how long has this type of a system been in place in the Honda vehicles?
Well, Honda's kind of cutting edge when it comes to technology as far as safety wise. There's a lot of different things that we've done, but they've been advancing this all the way, for several years, even all the way back to the 2012s and 13s. There's some safety measures that were put in place with lane departure warning and so forth. But the thing that I see as a salesperson is when a customer makes a purchase with us and we call their insurance company, to apply the new vehicle to their policy, we get the questions: do you have lane keep assist? Does it have the automatic braking system? Does it have adaptive cruise control? And then we're starting to see the customers start to say yes, yes, and yes, and then their policy, the premiums are dropped because of that. I had a gentleman with an Odyssey that made a purchase, and he came to me and he's like, my insurance dropped more than $100 a month because of the adding the policy. Now, he had several cars on his policy, but still adding a brand new Odyssey.
Your actual pricing may vary.
That's right.
One of my favorite events will be coming up very, very soon. Registration is already open for the CASA Superhero Run.
Yep. The registration actually opened this morning, and early bird pricing is from now until October 1st. And the race is a 5K run or walk and a 1 mile kids fun run. And it's November 2nd at Percival's Island Trail. It's nice and shaded and flat. It's wonderful. If you're a first time 5K'er, it's great. So the kids run is my absolute favorite. They get to chase the villains.
Nice.
Chase the bad guys to the halfway point. They refuel on their Gatorade or water at the water stop. And then they head back to the finish line where they get a medal, and all the kids get a cape as well.
Where do folks learn more about the run, and then where do they learn more about becoming a CASA volunteer?
So lynchburgsuperherorun.com is the race website, and you can learn more about CASA and how to volunteer at cvcasa.org.
Well, that'll about do it for Test Drive Interviews. I want to thank Billy Craft Honda for sponsoring Test Drive Interviews. We want to thank Paul, heck of a deal, Heckman, for demoing such a great vehicle.
Yes.
Paul, how do the folks get in touch with you about learning more about this and many other Billy Craft Hondas?
Yeah, 455-5246 is my direct line. Be more than happy to work with you. Facebook, heck of a deal. You can contact me on there. I've got a number of followers and people that are calling just to ask questions about certain things that they've seen on Test Drive Interview. So feel free to reach out.
Awesome. Allison, thank you so much for joining us on the program.
Really appreciate it. This is a lot of fun.
Yes.
Fun. And I want a new car now.
So does everybody, and you should come on out to Billy Craft Honda. Kelly, thank you so much for joining us on the program. We can be reached on our social media, The Mike Show VA. You can also catch the show Monday through Friday, 6 to 10 on 93.7 KHF. Best of Bits on the Radio 434 app. And you can view all of our test drive interviews either on our Facebook page or our YouTube channel, The Mike Show VA. For Test Drive Interviews, this is Mike. Thanks for watching.